everyone, so I thought I'd do another celebrity inspired makeup tutorial today. So I've gone with the makeup look that Meghan Markle chose to wear on her wedding day because I thought it was such like a good look. I was getting distracted because literally like a woman on a horse was literally just going past. Anyway, so I'm going to do a Meghan Markle inspired makeup look that she wore at the royal wedding. Let's get into it. I can see that she's got quite like a natural look going on, so I'm not going to go too heavy, which is perfect for me. First thing that I'm going to put on just to get like a really dewy base is the Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula, which is a really nice moisturiser, just to sort of have quite like a good sort of base that's quite sort of like moisturising, because I mean I have no idea about Meghan's skin, but my skin is bloody dry, so it needs some of this to make it better. Really needs like just a bit like of revitalisation because it is so bloody dry. I just need to literally it's really dewy. So then following on from this, I'm going to be using a little spot of primer. So the primer that I'm using is the Rimmel London Lasting Finish Primer, which looks like this, which is quite a hit in most of my tutorials. Like I use it so much because it literally just, well, sort of gone everywhere. I really love it. It's just sort of very moisturising. It helps definitely set my foundation really well. So I'm just going to use that now, just all over my face. So I'm now going to go in with my foundation because I've actually got like a bit more of a tan since being out in the sun, because it's been lovely weather. I'm going to use a slightly darker shade this time from L'Oreal Paris, which is the Infallible 24-Hour Matte Foundation in the shade Sand, which is perfect for when I've got a tan. Just going to pump out maybe about 3 pumps just to start with on my hand. I'm just going to grab an oval brush from It Cosmetics, which looks like this, to apply it with, and I've just sprayed a little bit of the Urban Decay All Night spray on it, just because I find when the brush is wet it just like applies the foundation more flawlessly. And obviously I'm not going to go too heavy on the foundation because Meghan's look is very flawless. I'm not going to go too crazy. So as you can see, I've gone quite natural with the foundation while still looking quite tanned and glowy, because that's definitely like the sort of look that she had, so I'm just trying to recreate that. So after doing that, I'm just going to use a little bit of the Rimmel transparent powder, and I'm using the Real Techniques Powder Blue BO1 brush just to sort of like just make sure it's all set really, and just make sure that, you know, nothing is going to fall out. So I'm just going to sort of just dust that very lightly, because as I said, I don't want to make it look cakey. I want to make it look quite natural. Just making sure I go underneath my chin. So yeah, I'm just sort of dusting that on my face just to make sure, as I said, it still looks quite natural. Then damn, I forgot concealer. Again, this is like literally a thing that I've done so much. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the concealer that I'm using, which is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade Cool Medium, just under my eyes, just to sort of get rid of any sort of dark circles, because that is something that I literally have a lot of dark circles, so I need to try and get rid of them. And then I just sort of go sort of like just under my brow bone and the outer corner of my eyes as well, because I get quite a lot of redness. And then I'm literally just going to powder my eyes just to make sure this and that's literally using exactly the same powder and brush. So in the picture she seems to basically not have any contour, so I'm not going to go too harsh with the bronzer. Maybe a slight bit of blush, but nothing, you know, too much. It's still quite natural. So the blush that I'm going to be using, because she has quite like corally sort of cheeks, I'm going to be using the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Birthday Suit, which looks like this, which is a lovely, lovely blush shade, especially for the summer. Like, it's like the perfect sort of coral shade. And to apply it, I'm just using the Real Techniques Powder Blue BO3 brush. And I'm just going to just really lightly, like literally not cake it at all, just very lightly just dabble it on my cheeks, because I don't want to do it too much, I don't want to do it too overbearing, so I want to just create like a really natural sort of rosy cheek without it being like pow. So I'm just gonna just lightly dabble, as I said, just creating like a really nice blush, nothing too heavy. So then I'm now gonna carry on with the bronzer. So I'm using the Rimmel Natural Bronzer in the shade Sun Glow, and I'm just literally just going to dust it on my cheeks, like using a very small amount of product. And by the way, I'm using the Real Techniques Powder Blue BO2 brush for this, which is brilliant for bronzer. Literally just going to very, very lightly swipe it just up my cheeks. Not going too cakey, quite a nice sort of thing, and just do like a little bit under my chin and nose, just sort of going very natural still. So then I'm going to carry on and I'm going to do my brows now. So in the shot she's got very sort of dark brows but very natural, so I'm going to try and recreate that using the NYX Eyebrow Cake Powder. This is the blonde palette, but it has got quite like a browny shade, so I'm going to use that for the look. And I'm going to apply it just using like a standard angle brush. You can get these from anywhere, but this one I got from Max Factor literally years ago, and I still swear by this to this day. Just going to lightly fill in my brows, not too heavy, not too over the top, just sort of very, very natural and light. Just sort of following the brow. So that's what I've done with the brows. I've made them quite sort of defined but still quite natural, which is definitely the look that Meghan goes for. Not just with like her wedding makeup, but as well just like her normal sort of makeup, like everyday sort of looks. So I'm just going to use some highlighter now. She has quite like a highlighted look, so I'm just going to use the Sleek makeup highlighting palette, which looks like this, which is very reflective and you can see myself. And it's one in Cleopatra's Kiss, which just looks like this, which is a lovely, lovely, lovely highlighting palette. And I'm just going to use the shade, I think it's the shade Sphinx, which is the top right one that you can see here, but it's actually on the left. I always forget that, like, doing stuff on camera, as you can probably tell from my last tutorial, not my last one, the one before that, my Lily Collins one. I just like really butchered up that teardrop. So I'm literally just gonna use my New Look fan brush, which is very beautiful, and I'm just gonna dust Sphinx sort of on the nose, on the cheekbones, and just sort of like maybe even on the collarbone rather, just to sort of create sort of very sort of highlighted but still quite natural look. So I'm just gonna dust it sort of everywhere. Not going too mental with the highlight, and then I'm also just going to take it on my collarbone. I might even just use my finger. I think it might be easier just to sort of look how pigmented that is. And I'm just going to just sort of dust it like on my collarbone. Now I'm going to use some eyeshadow primer. So the eyeshadow primer that I'm using is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, which is ideal for any eye look in my opinion. I absolutely adore this. You only need like the slightest bit of product as well for it to work correctly. So I'm just going to just put that on the eyelids just to create a base, just to... Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. That's why you can literally just see me going. I don't want to be unsightly on camera and start picking it. There we go. I forgot to actually set my brows. So this is the Rimmel Brow This Way eyebrow gel, which is just in a clear shade. So I'm just going to just sort of put that on my brows just to set them. Now I'm definitely going to get on with the eye look, which I'm so excited about. So she seems to have quite like a smoky eye. I'm not actually going to use Virgin for the base today, which is like, well, sugar. I'm actually going to use a slightly different base, which is very unusual for me, because if you're like a regular watcher of my makeup tutorials, you'll know that literally Virgin is the first colour I use just to sort of create like a base on pretty much all my makeup looks. So to start with, I'm using the I'm using the Cargo Cosmetics palette. This is the Around the World eyeshadow palette. I got this in TK Maxx, this was such a steal. And I'm using the Rome shade, which is this like white colour. And I'm just going to use that just to create like a really nice base. And to apply that, I'm using the Real Techniques BO4 brush, which is like the soft shadow brush, I believe. So yeah, I'm just going to just put that in the lid just to sort of help things along, just to set, like really set the eyeshadow really well. I'm firstly going to just like use a gradual sort of thing, but obviously making it quite smoky. So I'm firstly going to use the shade London on this Cargo Cosmetics palette, which is this one. And yeah, I'm just going to sort of base that just underneath my eyebrow, sort of like on the very ends of my eyelid. Why can't I explain things? I don't know. But I'm just going to place it here, and I'm just going to use this brush just to sort of merge it into my skin. A very natural shade, which I do want to sort of, you know, do. I don't want it to be too over the top. And then I'm just going to go slightly darker, and I'm going to use the shade New York in this palette, which is this shade. And I'm going to use the same brush, just slightly going lower, just to create more of a gradual tone. These shadows are like ideal as well. They're just so, they're not overly pigmented, but like, they're not like overly pigmented, but they still do the job really well. This is like the perfect palette if you just love sort of natural makeup. And I am just gonna keep going slightly darker. I'm going to use the shade Shanghai, which is this sort of lovely brownie colour. So now I'm literally just going to go all in, and this might not come as a shock to you, but I'm literally going to use the shade Gunmetal in the Urban Decay Naked palette, which is this shade here. This might need a few applies because it is quite pigmented though. And now I'm literally going to go all in. I'm going to use the Illamasqua palette that I've got, which is the Demise palette, which looks like this, which is really beautiful. And inside it's got 4 shades like this, which is lovely. And then I'm just going to use this black shade, just sort of dusting it on the eyelid. And I'm going to use my Urban Decay brush that I got from my Naked palette just to pack this on the lid, because I feel like this is literally like the best brush to use. I'm just going to pack that onto my lid. I don't know how this will come out, and I'm just going to slowly build this up. This is really difficult when you've got black eyeshadow, because it just literally will just literally fall out so much. So I'm literally just like patting it on rather than, because if you swipe it, I feel like it literally will just like be even worse, and it will literally just like cake underneath your eyes. So I'm trying to literally just dab it on, so it still packs on, but it's still, oh, that literally just happened. Why has that happened? I'm not a makeup artist. Keep on packing it on quite a dark colour because that's what you can see in Meghan's photo. So I'm now just going to smudge this out a little bit. So I'm literally just going to use the Real Techniques Powder Blue BO4 again. I'm just going to try and blend this out. I might use a little bit of a colour on the top as well once I've done, but this could take quite a while. I might just pack a little bit more on. I might just use this brush just because it's not dark enough for my liking. I might just top up with like another colour just to be like super dark. I might use the shade in the Urban Decay eyeshadow palette. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it's this one. And I'm just going to use the shade Blackout, which literally looks like this. And sorry, excuse me, that literally dogs are literally barking right outside my window right now, so that's what you can hear. So yeah, I'm literally just going to use the shade Blackout just to make this look a bit more intense. I do feel like it's still quite light, so I'm just going to, oh yes, that's what I wanted. There we go. That is what I wanted. That is what I wanted. So I'm literally just going to pack this on my lid. So, following on from that, I'm literally just going to use a mascara, which is the Max Factor Voluptuous False Lash Effect Mascara in black, which is amazing for getting really nice, not too over the top lashes, even though the false lash name might sort of make you feel a bit like, oh, it's going to be really fake, but it actually is quite natural as long as you like dust it rather than cake it, which is always a good motto to have when it comes to makeup. And so I'm literally just going to just put a little bit of mascara, not going too heavy at all. So I've just applied that, obviously being quite natural still, which I love. I'm almost done. I literally just need to do my lips. Definitely not going to go too hard with this because she is quite natural still. She has quite like a natural pink lip on. The lipstick that I'm going to be wearing is the Gosh Velvet the Gosh Velvet Touch lipstick in the shade Cappuccino, which is a lovely gorgeous nude shade, which I think definitely represents this look as much, you know, without being too over the top. This shade is also great with a tan, so hopefully this will actually look really good on me. So I'm just going to apply that now. I don't know why I've started being American, maybe the fact that Meghan Markle is American, I don't know. I've just started developing an American accent, so I apologise if anyone is offended, because I would be. I just sort of smacked your lips as well. This is so weird. Actually, my lips look so like, they look so natural and nude, because usually I've got very sort of pink lips. I might actually just add a little bit of like pinky to this look. I feel like it's almost too nude. The Collection Volume Sensation lipstick in the shade Satin Row. I'm just going to try and like merge them together to create a unique shade, because I think this is almost too nude for this look. I don't know how this is going to go down. I might actually just like pat it onto my finger and just sort of lightly blend it rather than try and mix the two lipsticks, because that just sounds like an actual disaster. So I'm just going to try and pat this on. I might just add a little bit of this pinky, which is the New Look Super Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Dark Rose, even though I think that's called something else now. I might just put like a little bit on the middles of my lips and just see how that works. That definitely sort of looks like what I'm sort of going for. I might still add a bit of the cappuccino on top. This is literally not going well, as you can probably guess. I've almost finished. I literally just need to use the Urban Decay All Night Spray just to sort of set this look. There we go. And now, finally, to finish the look off, I've got a little bit of a surprise for you guys. But I wanted to sort of recreate the look to the next level. So I've got my tiara that I actually wore like in my Leavers Day, that we called it when I was at school, but it's actually prom for all you Americans. So that is my makeup look, which looks like this. I hope that you really loved this video. There's like definitely a series because I've done a Lily Collins makeup tutorial, I've done an Ariana Grande makeup tutorial, and now Meghan Markle. If there are any more celebrities you want me to do, then please let me know in the comments, because I'll definitely be reading all your comments. I'd love also as well to know what sort of videos you want next from me. If so, I'd love to know like your suggestions for what sort of videos to do next, or if you want more makeup tutorials, if you want more fashion stuff, because yeah, that would really help me out a lot. So if you love this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, because it'll really help the channel, and yeah, it'll just let me know that you've liked it. If you haven't already, please remember to subscribe to my channel. I make a new video every week that gets uploaded on Saturdays at 9 AM, so be there or be square. And if you're really concerned about my channel, please remember to hit the bell so you always get notified when I upload. I'd love to know what you think of this look, if you think that I did it justice. I actually really love this look. I think it's perfect just for like everyday wear, even like a night out. I think this would look really cool. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys!